And we're back for our NBA predictions and best bets here for May 10th. A huge day in the NBA today. Two big games, big game threes between the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. I'll just be honest with you guys, full transparency, I am in Los Angeles right now. Well, not right now, but when you're seeing this video, I'm probably driving back from Los Angeles. So I'm recording this video ahead of time. I can do this because the odds, I already know the odds. And I just watched the Timberwolves and Warriors play tonight as I'm recording this. So me right now, I don't know if the Pacers beat the Cavaliers. I'm going to assume the Pacers beat the Cavaliers. So we're up 3-0, and we're putting them away on Sunday or tomorrow, and we're sweeping. If the Cavs won, Pacers in 5. Yeah, Pacers in 5 if the Cavs won, maybe 6. But I think the Pacers won yesterday, I hope. Anyways, and the Thunder probably blew out the Nuggets. I could be either really right or really wrong, but today, again, 2 big game threes. And before we get in the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions and best bets. Tomorrow, we will have those game 4s between the Pacers and the Cavs and the Thunder and the Nuggets. Earlier today, we posted our MLB best bets. Make sure to go check out that video. Link in the description down below. And on Greedo Plays MMA, we will have our UFC predictions, or we do have our UFC predictions with UFC 315, Bilal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena. Tomorrow, we're going to have our UFC Fight Night, Burns versus Morales predictions on Greedo Plays MMA. Make sure to go subscribe over there. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, first game of the day, Celtics Knicks. Give me the Knicks. Okay, let's be very clear first. The best bet is Knicks plus 5.5. Why are they plus 5.5 underdogs here? Why? Now, there's a couple things we need to talk about with this basketball game, okay? This is the highest cost game of the entire season so far. Now, I assume NBA Finals games will probably be more expensive, but if that's Thunder Pacers, probably not actually. So there's a chance this game 3 is more expensive to get into on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon than the NBA Finals, because the Finals might consist of 2 flyover state teams. Hey, I'm gonna have fun watching that series, but anyways, right? If the Nuggets and Cavs won yesterday, that's gonna sound horrible. Nah, still, the Pacers and Thunder are still winning the series, even if they both lost yesterday, which they 100% didn't, I hope. So that's one thing, right? The cheapest ticket to get in the building is like, what, $800, $850 to get in Madison Square Garden? It's crazy. What, courtside's like $45,000, $50,000 for a playoff game, not even a finals game, a second round game. It's insane. I have heard the point, and it's a very fair point. I don't know how many of these people in the arena are going to be fans. Let's just be honest. It's going to sound maybe too quiet for people's likings because it's going to be a lot of rich people. Let's just be honest, who, they're there to watch the game, but they're not going to go batshit crazy every time the Knicks score because, they're there for a reason, because they, make a lot of money. I don't know. That's something I've been seeing online. I thought I'd bring it up. Anyways, I think the Knicks are beating the Celtics again. The same script has happened in the first 2 games in Boston. It's been, all right, the Celtics get off to a really good start. They're in control for most of the game. They're up by 20 in both of those games. And the Knicks come back from down 20 in both of those games. And just like the Pacers-Cavs series, New York returns home up 2-0. Do I think the series ends here in New York like I think the Pacers are going to end the series in Indiana against Cleveland? No. But I think they're going to win this series in either 5 or 6 games. I think. Probably 5. I think the Celtics are going to avoid the sweep. I think. Because I think they're too good for that. But I do think the Knicks are going to get game 3. There hasn't been a game so far this series where the Knicks just completely dominate Boston, or even they're in the game the entire way. It's super close, and the Knicks, they don't even have to make a comeback. It's just a tightly contested game that eventually the Knicks win. That hasn't happened yet, obviously, because, again, both of these games have been the exact same. And we have to talk about, I guess, the shooting slump for the Celtics. So we thought the Timberwolves 2-game slump between Game 5 of the first round against the Lakers and Game 1 against the Golden State Warriors, we thought their shooting slump from beyond the arc was atrociously bad, historically bad. The Celtics have been historically bad from the 3-point line to start this series. Game 1, obviously, we talked about it, 15 for 60. They missed 45 3-pointers in game number 1. In game number 2, they missed 30 3-pointers. They went 10 for 40 from the 3-point line. And at the end of the game, They miss 16 consecutive shots. The Knicks are allowed to go on that run. I had plus 10 for the Knicks, so I was ecstatic. But I wanted to see the Knicks win too, because hell, it's an easier matchup for the Pacers. Regardless, the Celtics couldn't buy a bucket at the end of the game. They couldn't buy one. And this is the problem with the Celtics. And this has been talked about a lot. Hunting the three-point shot can be successful, obviously. And the whole Joe Mazzulla system, and I'm sure his assistants are in this too, right? It's this whole thing. We like our odds better if we're going to just shoot a plethora of three-pointers, because eventually the math is going to wind up in our favor. Because again, if we just outshoot you from the three-point line, we don't have to make as many shots. But if we're able to do it at a somewhat consistent basis, we're going to win the basketball game, because every shot we take, or for the most part, most of our makes are going to be three-point shots. And we've always said that, sure, that's great, and they've dominated teams all year long in the regular season doing that, but when it comes to a spot where you can't knock down that three-point ball at least consistently, then you're screwed. And again, that has happened through both of these games, and especially in the fourth quarter of both these games. Again, in the fourth quarter, the Celtics could not buy a bucket. In the final 5 minutes of the game, you can't miss 16 straight shots. It's just, you can't do that. Jason Tatum has been playing horribly this series. 13 points in game number 2, 5 for 19 shooting, 1 for 5 from the three-point line. In game 1, 7 for 23, 4 for 15 from the three-point line. That can't happen out of a guy who is likely a top 10, if not top 15 player in the sport. I think he has to be a top 10 player in the sport. That can't happen for you on the playoff team. And you're the number 2 seed. It just can't happen at home too. No. But it's not just Tatum. I know Al Horford's not the biggest part of this team, but he starts now because Kristaps Porzingis is just getting his legs back with him. Horford goes 0 for 5 from the three-point line in game 2, 2 for 11 from the field. Drew Holiday 0 for 2 from the three-point line. Derek White, who is a big shot hitter for this team, 3 for 11 from the three-point line. Jaylen Brown, 2 for 7 from the three-point line. Peyton Pritchard, 3 for 9 from the three-point line. And none of those guys, and I mean none of those guys, could hit a big shot in the fourth quarter. It was brick, brick, brick. They were building a house from all those bricks in that game. And then there's the end of the game. And I'll get to the Knicks in a second. But then there's the end of the game. Jason Tatum, drives, tries to kick, tries to pass out. Mikal Bridges swats the ball away, basically keeps it himself, right? Swats the ball down, steals it. Mikal Bridges with the game-winning steal. The Knicks win the game 91-90. Again, another game that the Knicks kind of just stole at the end, but obviously it's not a steal. They played really well at the end of the game to get back in that basketball game. And you got to give Mikal Bridges a lot of credit. Mikal Bridges had a horrible first half. He single-handedly kept them in the game in the early fourth quarter, right? The Celtics are up, 10 points? Because I remember watching that fourth quarter, and I was like, all right, well, I just have plus 10, so I need just the Knicks to hit some shots and stay in the game and hopefully make a push, but ultimately, I don't really care who wins, right? Because I have the spread. And the Celtics were hitting big shots in the early fourth quarter. That's why, again, you look at the final fourth quarter tally, it's 30-17 for the Knicks. That's good, obviously. I mean, they outscored the Celtics by 13, but it's not historically great, obviously. It's just that the Celtics had a very good early start to the fourth quarter. They were hitting their shots. I think Pritchard had a big three-pointer. I think Jason Tatum's one three-pointer came in the early fourth quarter. If not, Jaylen Brown definitely hit one as well. But Mikal Bridges showed up. Mikal Bridges, again, who had 14 points all game, hits big shot after big shot, mid-range, three-point shot, kept the Knicks in the game until Jalen Brunson could get back on the court. Cat could come back on the court, right? Mikal is doing that with, Deuce, McBride, and Mitchell Robinson on the court. Without the two All-Stars playing, Mikal Bridges single-handedly kept the Knicks in the basketball game. And obviously, the clutch player of the year, Jalen Brunson does his thing. Did not have a great night, but Brunson, when it mattered, scored, had 17 on the night, had that big and one. Karl-Anthony Towns scored 21 in his own right. The Knicks are good. Josh Hart in spots when he needs to hit his three. Josh Hart will knock down that shot. 3 for 6 from the three-point line in game number 2. Yeah, the Knicks are for real. They are for real. And I think they're going to beat the Celtics again. I think they're going to. I just think Boston is a really bad shooting night again. I'm going to be honest. They're walking into the Garden. I think they lose. It's the same, again, and I hope the Pacers won yesterday because this will make a lot more sense if the Pacers won. I think walking into a road environment, down 2-0, when you are one of the top seeds, I think it's just extremely difficult to get off to the right foot in that environment. In a game where, again, you're not expected to win. I think, well, again, the Celtics are favorites, but in that environment, it's just you're the villains. You're getting booed every shot you take. You're walking into enemy territory. You're not in your home court, in your home arena. I think it's extremely difficult. I think the New York Knicks are going to beat this team. I don't think the series ends in game 4. I think the Celtics, again, eventually they're going to figure out their shot. But the problem that they will face after this game is, okay, they can't do that 4 games in a row. I think they can put it together maybe once. But honestly, I think the Knicks are going to eliminate them on their own home court in game 5. Personally, that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to split here in New York. I think the Knicks win tonight. Celtics win Monday. We continue the series to Wednesday, likely in Boston. And I think the Knicks will end it there. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges both played tremendous games. Honestly, everyone in the Knicks starting lineup played phenomenally. OG Anunoby scored 5 points, went 2 for 9 shooting, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. The defense that guy plays, though. Mikal Bridges as well. Josh Hart. They're a good group. They really are. They're not beating the Pacers in the next round, but the New York Knicks are a good basketball team. Credit to them for winning the first 2 against the Celtics. I think they're going to do it again in game number 3. But again, by far, I said it earlier, the best bet, single-handedly best bet in this game is by far the spread, plus 5.5 for the New York Knicks here at home against the Boston Celtics. Okay, let's go on to our final game of the day, game 3, Timberwolves versus Warriors. Just saw this game on Thursday. It was the only game on Thursday, and it was one-way traffic for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The end result was never really in question. Honestly, the spread was really never in question. It was 10.5, 11.5 for Minnesota. They cover fairly easily. They win the game by 24 points. The big story of the game was the Anthony Edwards injury in the second quarter. He goes down. You're thinking, oh, goodness. It's just, Ant is out, Steph's out. This is just, this is horrible. Ant comes back after halftime. He's literally Iron Man. He comes back, plays the second half, and plays big minutes in the second half, and the Timberwolves win. So I think Ant's fine. I'll be honest, when I saw the injury for the first time, I was like, I saw it live. I was like, it looks bad, but Ant got hurt in the Lakers series. He popped back up to his feet after he went back to the locker room. I didn't think it was series ending. I didn't think it was season ending. I didn't know if he was going to come back in this specific game, but I thought, again, okay. The Timberwolves can win this game without Ant. I was expecting him back in game 3. I'm just going to be honest. But we know he's going to play game 3 now because he finished game 2, obviously. What did we get from that game 2? Yeah, the Warriors are in trouble. I mean, definitely. There's really no other way to put it. They're in big trouble without Steph Curry. The Warriors have never made a playoff run, nor have they been successful in the Steve Kerr era without Steph Curry. Obviously, they're just, that's what they are. Sure, they've added superstars and all-stars to this team. They've had other guys, right? Draymond and Clay have been here pretty much the entire time. Obviously, Draymond's been here the entire time. They've had Kevin Durant before. You have Jimmy Butler now. You need Steph Curry on a Golden State Warriors team. They don't know how to operate without him. And the thing is, I don't think they can just adjust in the middle of a postseason series without Curry. And I've been over this before. Even when Curry comes back, likely, game 5, we're thinking probably for a Curry comeback, probably not playing at home. I still think they're screwed because I don't think Curry's the same player, and Steph Curry is so, again, dependent on his movement and his ability to, again, just be quick around the court. That's going to be gone, right? Remember the OG Anunoby injury last year against the Pacers in the second round when he played game 7? I mean, he was hobbling on one foot, hit some big shots early in the game, but, Anunoby was not the same player. He's a traffic cone on defense, and ultimately, again, they took him out because he couldn't move. The Warriors are going to need Steph Curry to be able to move, and I don't know how well that goes for them when Steph eventually comes back in Minnesota for game number 5. I think there's a really good chance the Timberwolves are up 3-1 going into that spot. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think the Warriors... I think the Warriors can win a game here at home, but I just don't think they will. Watching that game 2. Okay. Buddy Hield had great back-to-back games in Houston in game 7 and game 1 in Minnesota. Game 2 was not a Buddy Hield night. It was a decent game for Buddy Hield, but every shot that he hit basically was a 3, and he couldn't get anything going other than that. He only shot 9 threes. I was expecting 15, I'm going to be honest. He hit 4 of them. He scored 15 points. All right, that's a Buddy Hield line. Again, if Steph Curry was playing, you're thinking, oh, that's actually a really good line for Buddy Hield, right? 15 points out of Buddy, we'll take that. Yeah, the problem is when Curry's not playing, though, and Buddy Hield scores more than most of your team, that's not ideal. I know those garbage time minutes, but Trayce Jackson-Davis, for the most part, those were garbage time minutes. Trayce Jackson-Davis scored 15 points, 6 for 6 from the field, obviously. Obviously, those are just lay-ins, but still, shout out to the former Indiana Hoosier. I don't think 2025 Jimmy Butler can lead a team to the finals. I just, those were weird circumstances in Miami, and that was the best Jimmy Butler we're ever going to get. Let's just be honest, that 3-year run from when, they made the bubble championship to, when they lost to the Nuggets in the finals was prime Jimmy Butler. And nobody's telling me otherwise. That was one of the best postseason players we've ever seen. Unfortunately, I think at the age of 36, 37, Jimmy just isn't that anymore. Let's just be honest. It's not like he played badly in game 2, but you need a lot more out the guy if you're going to win games like that. And then there's the Draymond Green thing. Draymond trying his hardest to get ejected in the first quarter. That's neither here or there. But I did say, and that's been a talking point as well in game 1, okay, Draymond hit those 4 3-pointers in the second quarter. Excellent, right? Gobert doesn't defend 3-pointers well, so Draymond's going to take those shots, and he hit those shots in game 2. The problem with that is, though, when Draymond hits those shots, it's awesome, but going forward, he's going to continue to take those shots, and he's going to have the confidence to say, okay, I can take the 3-pointer. Gobert can't guard me from out here. I'm going to take this shot. And he went 1 for 6 from the 3-point line in game 2. Again, that's something that's nice to have in a game from Draymond. You'd love to have it. But unfortunately, again, it's something that's a case where you love to have it, and it's great when Curry's playing, when Curry is providing you points. But when Steph's not on the court, that all of a sudden it goes from, oh, Draymond's taking a 3, that's great, to we need Draymond to hit those 3s. And when you're in that mindset, that's not when the Warriors are playing their best basketball, obviously. Julius Randle had a bounce back game 2. That's great, 24 points for him. And we said we didn't think the Timberwolves were going to continue to shoot that poorly from beyond the arc, and obviously they didn't in game number 2. They got some huge 3-pointers off of their bench unit, right? Their 3 guys off the bench scored more 3-pointers than anybody in the starting lineup. Naz Reid goes 3 for 8, Dante DiVincenzo goes 3 for 8, Nickeil Alexander-Walker goes 4 for 6. Nah had 20 points in that game. He's had the second most points on Minnesota and second most points in the game, only behind Julius Randle again with the 24. Anthony Edwards gets hurt, still puts up 20 points, comes back, looks like he's fine. And I guess I do need to talk about Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga, right, 26 minutes in that game, 18 points. Steve Kerr's looked at Kuminga and said, all right, well, we kind of need you in the rotation now. So Kuminga is playing, and he's playing big minutes off the bench. I was surprised Kevon Looney barely played. He only played in garbage time. That kind of shocked me. They went to Trayce Jackson-Davis instead. That's fine. I just think, again, Looney does fit their system better, obviously, because he's been here for so long. I felt like we'd see more of him, honestly. But the Warriors didn't shoot well from 3, obviously. Buddy goes 4 for 9, okay. Butler 2 for 4. Draymond 1 for 6. Podziemski 1 for 4. 0 for 4 from Moses Moody. They just need to be better, and I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with Minnesota. We said game 1 was just a horrible night for the Timberwolves. This is a historically bad night. The thing about that is, though, it won't continue to repeat itself, and obviously game 2 did prove that. It's the same thing, and again, I try not to say this too many times this video. I'm hoping the Thunder won game 3 because it'll make my point look better, but it's the same thing we said about OKC and Denver in game 1. Okay, the Nuggets get out of it, they win it by 2. But the Thunder aren't going to play that poorly again, and that's a rare bad night for OKC that they should have won. But still, that's not sustainable, and that's not going to be something that's going to continue to win you games and ultimately win you a series because of how good your opponent is. And the same thing does apply to Golden State and Minnesota, right? I don't think the Warriors are able to be that successful like they were in game 1 because, again, a lot of their success, sure, you can give credit to the Warriors' defense 100%, but a lot of that success ultimately just came down to, okay, DiVincenzo couldn't hit his 3-ball. Ant couldn't hit a 3-ball. Randall was barely taking him, and he couldn't hit him when he did, right? Naz Reid was barely hitting from beyond the 3-point line. I mean, they started the game 0 for 16 in game 1 from the 3-point line. That's just basketball sometimes. That's going to happen. That's why they play a 7-game series to determine who moves on to the next round. So in this spot, I'm going Minnesota here. They're 5.5 or 4.5 point favorites in San Francisco. And yes, I expect them to cover this. I really do. I don't think the Warriors are going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they're competitive until Steph comes back. I just don't think they are. And until a 100% Steph Curry comes back, which ultimately I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think they're going to get a 100% Steph Curry for the rest of the series. I just don't think they will. So I'm going Minnesota to win. I think it's just an uphill climb for Golden State at this point. The Timberwolves are the better basketball team, and they should outshoot Golden State tonight. And we'll see you for Game 4 on Monday, where I do probably expect the Timberwolves to win again. But again, we just got to see this Game 4 here tonight. So folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions and best bets here for Saturday, May 10th. If you haven't not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching. And Mamba forever.